Hello, my friends. It's Gabriel with The Last Huntsman Outdoors. I got Brother Kenny out here, and I got my sister out here somewhere. But we're going to be doing a 2-for-1 review. I have the Jaakaripuuko 140, and he has the 110. We're going to be reviewing both of these knives in the same video, since they're both basically the same thing, but one's just a little longer. All right, so here we have the Jaakaripuuko 110 and the Jaakaripuuko 140. As you guys can see, they're both basically the same knife. This is just about an inch longer though. So this is about a 4.5 inch blade, or 110 millimeters. This is a 5.5 inch blade, or 140 millimeters. They're both ADCR V2 steel, and they both are about 5/32 thick. All right, here I have the Jaakaripuuko 140. I'm gonna do some batoning with it, and I'll have Brother Kenny do some batoning with the 110. Oh, I just popped that log, right? So this has kind of a modified Scandi grind, kind of a Scandi saber grind hybrid, but it's just exploding those logs. It's a pretty good job. Jaakaripuuko 140. Brother Kenny has his 110 out. He's going to do a little bit of batoning as well. Ow. That piece is quite a bit more knotty than the one I was batoning. All right, so here I have both the 110 and the 140, and I have two different sheaths for each of these. The 110 here is rocking out Varustulika's Bolteron type of sheath, which is a really nice sheath. I like it, especially for the money. It's pretty much like Kydex. That's pretty cool. You could pretty much attach any kind of belt attachment you want on it. And then on the 110, or on the 140 here, I actually have the leather sheath, which is pretty cool because it has like a polymer insert. So it actually does click in. It fits in like Kydex. It's not going anywhere. Even has a retention snap to kind of hold it in extra well, but even without that, it's not going anywhere. And it had just like a leather dangler, but I put a tech lock on there just so I could put it on my belt quicker without having to take off my whole belt. But yeah, the sheath options for these, especially for the money, and mind you, both of these are sub $100. I think they're even like right around 80 bucks for each one of these. So it's awesome setup for both of these knives for the money. All right, so another test I'm going to do with both of these, and mind you, both of these knives are going to perform almost the same, exception for this one just longer. But I'm just going to do some notches, and I'm going to try to do some cross grain batoning. So first of all, I'm going to just try to do a little square notch. And as you guys know, I'm not a Scandi grind guy. However, this modified Scandi is actually pretty nice. There's a little square notch. And just do a tent stake here. A little tent stake. All right, let's just cross grain baton here. All right, another test I'm going to do. I'm going to just use the 140 here, but I'm going to just do some basic slicing. This knife with that kind of Scandi hybrid grind really just digs in. So it's a good wood carving knife, but it's also a lot more durable than just like a standard Scandi grind. Another test, while you're kind of just doing this type of slicing though, you can kind of really feel for hot spots. And this has kind of a rubber over molded handle. It's slightly tactile, but it's also pretty solid feeling. But it fits and fills the hand really well. And I can make a little vampire slayer stick. So another test we're going to do with both the 110 and the 140 is we're just going to do some feather sticks. We're going to try to get a fire going out here. It started raining on us while we're out here. We're in the shelter now, so. Not doing too bad, really. All right, so another test I'm going to use the 144 here. So I'm just going to get a little fire going here. I may have messed this up. This does have a really sharp 90-degree spine, but I may have jacked my stack up here a little bit. Something about both of these is neither of them are going to be really a great chopping knife per se, because they are a pretty narrow and light blade. However, with the 140, it does have just the extra little length. If you had to, you could do some light chopping with it. There we go. That's the 140. All right, so Brother Kenny here has his 110. Now, even if you can't chop with it per se, these knives are solid enough that they should hold up to even some decent cross-grain batoning too. So with the 140, it has just that little extra length, so it actually can chop decently for its size. Now, it's not going to be like a chopping knife, but for quick little camp tasks and stuff. And that's what this knife would really excel at, is like a little camp task type of knife, or even like a good little soldier knife too. All right, so something about both the 110 and the 140 here is that both of these are actually carried by a lot of Finnish military too, and even other guys I've seen in training and stuff. So both of these would actually make a decent little defensive knife, just the way the guard is. I mentioned in my best blades under $100 that this one with the guard the way it is and the ergonomics on the handle would actually make a decent little self-defense knife. The 110, because it's so small, it would actually make even a decent EDC knife. Kenny, you want to kind of show us what you think on it real quick? Might flip it and tell me what you think on the stab. I mean, it got some good piercing power. Yeah. All right, so here I have the 140 here. It's going to be basically the same thing as the 110, just a little bit longer. Fairly thick blade, stabs really well. So this would make an awesome little soldier knife if that's what you want it for. And has that little attitude readjustment right there. So you can give somebody a attitude readjustment if need be. All right, so I'm gonna call it good on the Jaakaripuuko 140 and the 110. Both of these are great knives. I kind of look at these as like a better improvement than like even the Cold Steel SRK. So if you're kind of on a budget, but you want something a little better than an SRK, I definitely would look into one of these. I like these. I actually keep this one in my pack that I keep in my vehicle, because I kind of look at it like, okay, it's a great knife. I can do everything I need to with it. But if my bag gets stolen out of my vehicle or something, I'm not, you know, losing my favorite knife in the world too. So, you know, I mean, there's a lot of options with it too, with the leather sheath or Boltron sheath, or even, I think you can even go without a sheath or just the bare blade, rubber grip, which I don't know why you'd want to do that. But yeah, I don't know why either. If there's one thing I could change with this, while I think this rubber grip is nice and it does offer a cheap alternative, I think it would be cool if they made like a plus model that was like a true full tang. Keep the same handle shape, but just made it a true full tang. Or another option I think would be kind of cool is if they made one that was about that much wider, so kind of even with the guard, and about a 7-inch blade, and just made like a Jaakaripuuko 200. I think that would be a really cool option as well. But overall, I would highly suggest these. If anything, even if you have knives that are nicer and better than these, just have these as a backup, or have them as a knife to hand off to your ridiculous sister in the background or something if she's out in the woods without a knife like a dumbass. But all that being said, be prepared both physically and spiritually. God bless, and carry on.